Okay, so so far we have discussed about the events, and we have discussed about search page implementations, and also we have discussed about LOE event as well as pop list event, right? So today what we do is we'll try to discuss about OAF search using query bean functionality. Okay, so last time we have discussed about search page implementation using manual method, right, where the developer has to write the code to handle the search functionality. So today what we do is we use a bean called query bean, so which implements the search functionality automatically. So it reduces the developer's effort, but at the same time it is also having some set of disadvantages also. So based on the requirement, we have to go for query bean functionality or maybe the manual search implementation. Okay, so because this is very much important, and you also need to identify how the page is implemented. Like generally when you get a requirements to extend any of the page, so be careful that whether the page is implemented using manual search or whether it is implemented using query bean search. If it is based on query bean search, better not to perform any extension on that. Okay, but how do you identify those things? Like it all depends upon the experience. You'll understand that. Okay, once we know the concepts of JDR, and once we know the concept of deployment, then we'll get more idea. Okay, so once we finish this particular query bean functionality, we'll discuss about the deployment of a page. Okay. Okay, so as we know that to implement any of the search page, always we require the view, right? And any general search, any of the OAF page always requires model, view, and controller. It all depends upon the requirement. Now in our case, we already been using Cisco Best Services AM. Now for let's design the Vivo first, nothing but query. Okay, so let's implement a search functionality in the visible invoice. So this is very simple query. So I'll just have a plain query. I will not do any of the where condition or all those stuff. So what I would like to have is, I would like to design a search page based on this particular table, and also I will have the transaction number as a column, and also I will have some other columns like maybe set of book ID. Let's consider set of book ID also. Okay. And any other columns? Okay, we can have variable number also. Okay. So let's start with a single column, then we can go on increase the set of columns. So now this is my query. Okay. So here, if we consider the model layer and array transaction all data Vivo, right? And also array transaction search page. This is the details. These are the details. So now go to the server package, perform a right click, click on new Vivo object. And again, this is a read-only access. And here, make sure that you mention the appropriate name, array transaction all data Vivo, read-only access. Click on next. Now mention the query, copy, next, and finish. Now assign the Vivo to the data model of the AM. Double click on the AM here, and here transaction details Vivo. Click on apply, which will generate a Vivo instance. Now create a page in the web UI package. Perform a right click, click on new, OA components and page. So now this is our page. This is our page. This is the package. Click on OK. Now on the page, set the default properties. Main region. And as of now, we'll not discuss about controller for this particular page. Click on the aim definition, set the aim definition. Array search page. Array customer transaction search page. Okay. Now here what we do. So here, observe carefully here. So there is no controller required for this particular page. So there is an region style. There's a region style called query bean. Right? Region style itself is query. Okay. In this one, there is a property called construction mode. There is a property called construction mode. Okay. Now let's, first of all, what we do is in the search page, the top level region is main region, isn't it? The top level region is main region. And after this, what we do is create a region, set the region style to query. First of all, create a new region under the main region and set the region style to query. Okay. Now under the main region, I'll perform a right click, click on new region and set this particular region style to query. Okay. I'll name it as query region. Now there are few important properties which we have to set here. And the main important property is construction mode. In the construction mode, there are three types. One is none, another is auto customization criteria, and another one is result based search. Okay, let's start with result based search, which is very much easier option. Okay, what I'm considering now is in the construction mode. I'm considering result based search. So after changing this style to query mode, set the construction mode to result based search. Okay. So in a search page, in our search page, we have two modes. One is, apart from this construction mode, there is panel stuff. So simple search panel as well as advanced search panel. Simple search panel as well as advanced search panel. If you have observed any of the standard page, most of the pages will have the simple search functionality as well as advanced search functionality. So as of now, include simple panel as yes. Include simple panel as yes. Okay. True, I mean to say. Clear? Only two properties have changed on this one. The first thing is change the item style, change the region style to query bean, and after that, in this one construction mode, set it to result based search and include simple panel as true as of now. Now on the query region, perform a right click and region using a wizard, new region using wizard. Now what we are trying to do is we have to create a table region. Click on new region using a wizard, click on next. Now select the Vivo, click on next, set the style as table, set the region ID. Now select what are the columns you want to show in the output. So I prefer customer transaction ID, transaction number, and way bill number or something, batch ID, way bill number, and some more columns. Okay. As of now, I selected only 5 columns. I hope we should have org guided. Yeah, org guided. Fine. So these are the columns I've selected. And see, we can also later change these columns. It's not that, as of now we selected all of these columns. Later, if you get a requirement to change the existing columns or to add up a new columns, yes, everything we can do. Okay. Click on next. So here the style should be message style text, isn't it?
Yes. Read only.
Yeah. Finish. That's it. Let's run the page and see how it works. As of now, no control is defined so far, but just see how the page looks like. Okay. Do you see the extra buttons, the go and clear?
Yes.
But did we really define those buttons in our page?
No.
So how, like on what basis they are getting shown? How are they shown in the page? On what basis? Because of the query region. Got it? So this is a Oracle provided bean, the Java bean. By default, whenever you use the query region in your page, the go and clear button will be shown automatically. Okay, this is the first functionality. Apart from that, if you observe, as of now we don't have controller, but when I click on go, you will get a data. Observe this. Can you see?
Yeah.
But who is executing the Vivo? How the Vivo is getting executed? Again, that is automatically. That is done automatically by the query bean functionality. Clear? Understood?
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Yeah. So when you design a search page, always you should have the search functionality, right? Now, as of now, we have not provided any search functionality. That is a major important property which we require now, isn't it? So now let us say that I would like to design a search page with the transaction number as a criteria. Now what I should do? So in the query bean, what is the easiest thing they have provided is, now under the query bean, we have a table region, right? So now I would like to have the search page, I would like to provide transaction number as an input field for the search criteria. So select this transaction number. There's a property called search allowed. Just make it as yes. Sorry, it is sort. Sorry, it is sort. Search allowed is true. Okay. Sorting also you can enable, no problem. So search allowed, make it as true. Now run the page and see the difference. So generally when you design these kind of pages initially, you'll not know the real functionality of the framework. That is why like I generally discuss these particular things at later stages. Got it now? Click on go. That's it. Now we can just mention the transaction number. We'll get the data. Clear?
Yeah.
Is it performing equi search or like search? How is it performing? Is it performing is equal to transaction number or like transaction number?
Like.
Yeah, got it?
Yeah.
So by default search page will perform like operation. Okay.
Yes.
Now let us say you have a requirement to enable one more column. Now let us say that I have a requirement to enable waybill number also as a criteria. Now what I can do? Go to waybill number and just enable search allowed as true. Now run the page and see the difference. So for any change in the search criteria, are we writing any new code?
No.
No, right?
Automatically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage of this particular search page functionality. But of course, there are some drawbacks in this area, but we'll know like once we do more page design of the pages. Got it? Now one more extra column got shown. Now let's enter waybill number. Okay. Now I'll mention transaction number also. So now observe carefully. Observe carefully. I'll click go now. Now when I mentioned transaction number, I got 3 records. Okay. And I have not mentioned waybill number. But this time I will mention waybill number. When I click on go, how many records it will show? What do you think?
One record.
One record. So if it shows one record, what does it mean? Is it performing AND criteria or OR criteria?
And criteria.
Right? So search page, it will perform like operation as well as AND criteria. If you mention multiple columns, it will simply mention AND criteria. But let us say if you have a requirement that if you want to perform OR functionality, will this work?
No.
No, right? Do you remember like some time back we designed some of the pages where we had OR functionality? There are chances, right? Let us say if a customer says, I would like to have such criteria for OR functionality, not AND functionality, then this page is of no use, right?
Yes.
Right? So in those kind of scenarios, we have to design our custom pages. Clear? Got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, one more functionality in the query bin now. On the query region, there is one more panel, right? Include advanced panel, make it as true. Now run the page again. Yeah. Now what is the difference you observe?
One more advanced search button.
Yeah, it shows an extra button called advanced search. Just click on this one, and when you click on advanced search, it will go to new page with some more extra functionality, extra fields. And again, these are getting displayed automatically. No coding done, right? Now here, observe carefully here. Let us say I would like to display the data of 2 transaction numbers. One is this particular one. Let us say I'll mention transaction number is, okay. And I can also have another transaction number here. Nothing but I can mention in condition. You got it? Transaction number is, and when all conditions are met or when any condition is met, I have to select any condition because it has to perform OR criteria, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yes.
So now using advanced search, we can do any functionality like where they can mention is criteria and criteria greater than, less than, many things. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So this is how we can implement the search page. And for the construction mode, what we have done? Result based search. This is for the construction mode, result based search. Now, okay. So clear about this particular construction mode, result based search, or any doubts?
No, clear.
Okay. Now let me tell you the drawback of this particular page. So do you think that anyone prefer to enter the transaction number? They prefer to have LOV or drop down, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. So now,
The
yeah,
number or way will.
yeah, waybill number also, right? Nobody prefers to enter it. They prefer to, like using barcode they want to enter, or maybe the LOV or a pop list, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now remember here, when you're designing any search page using query bean and construction mode, as of now, what we have considered? We have considered the result based search, right? So result based search should be used only when your search criteria is text input boxes. Whenever your search criteria is text input boxes, we have to consider result based search. Okay. And if your search criteria is having any of the, LOVs or a drop down, we have to use auto customization criteria. Clear?
Okay.
Now let us implement the same page. But this time using auto customization criteria. Clear?
Okay.
Got it? I prefer to redesign the page, okay, rather than performing copy paste. I prefer to redesign the page because these are the first time, right? I mean, we are still in initial stages only. So copy pasting those things, like once we are well versed, then we can do all those stuff. Okay. As of now, always try to redesign the page, create a new components every time rather than performing copy paste. Click on new page, array customer transaction, auto custom page. Okay. I'll say auto custom page. Now here, set the properties. Auto custom search page. Now in the main region, perform a right click on new region and query region. And here, construction mode, auto customization criteria, include simple panel, true. Okay. Now here, so far the same thing. After the first difference you observe is, first difference here is the construction mode should be auto customization criteria. Okay, remaining things are okay, remaining things are same. In the query region, perform a right click, new region using a wizard. This is also same thing. Select the Vivo, set the region style as table, and set the region ID also. And here select the columns, transaction number, waybill number, transaction date, some more columns. Okay. Click on next. Now set all of them as message style text. Here don't change any of the styles here. Just change them to message style text. Don't give it to any other option. Don't mention any other options here. Okay. You should be message style text only. Finish. This part, till this part, we already know, right? We have done the same functionality. So here, earlier case, you have just mentioned, search allowed property to true, right? But in this case, that will not work here. Now the first change what we require is, in our search page, this particular transaction number, we want to show it as LOV. We want to show the transaction number as LOV. So now what we can do, I require a Vivo, right? I require a Vivo for LOV purpose. Distinct transaction number from array customer. Got it?
Okay.
Right? I have to design a Vivo now. So now if you consider the MVC components here for this particular page, model, view. So here, Cisco Services AM, and array customer transaction vivo, and also we require array transaction number LOV vivo. We require LOV vivo for this particular purpose. Clear?
Okay.
Now let's design the vivo. LOV server, go to LOV server package. On this one, perform a right click, new vivo. LOV vivo, read only access. Finish. Now assign the vivo to the AM, LOV server. That's it. Now in our page, in this auto custom page, what we have to do is, so here observe carefully on the query region, there are few more extra properties which will be shown now. Perform a right click here. Perform a right click here. So in the auto customization criteria search page, we have to design our panel as well as we have to design our result region. I mean to say, initially for the result based search, we just enable search allowed property. It worked automatically, everything. But here in the auto customization criteria, we have to define the linkage between the panel as well as result region. So the first thing is on the query region, perform a right click, click on new simple search panel. Can you see simple search panel?
Yes.
And on the query region again, perform right click and click on simple search mapping. So two things I have done. One is simple search panel as well as another is simple search mapping. So the first thing is the panel. So in our search page, the top level region where user will enter search functionality, that is called panel. So in the simple search panel, I would like to show the transaction number LOV. So what you do, this is my panel. So it shows automatically all these regions. On this region 1, perform a right click, click on new item, and you can select message LOV input. So here I'll just say transaction number LOV ID, and I have to select the LOV, isn't it? Now mention the prompt also. Mention the prompt. Select transaction number. So in the region 3, perform a right click. We have to create a table region, right? For the LOV. New region using wizard, table using wizard. So here select the LOV for the LOV purpose. Now go with the default, go with all the default, select the transaction number and finish. Now what I have to do is, so this is for the selection of the transaction number, right? So in this LOV map, create a mapping between your table region item as well as this transaction number LOV ID. So search allowed property give search allowed property true for this one, and for this transaction number also give search allowed property true. Now create a LOV mapping between these two things, this array customer transaction number 1 as well as transaction number LOV ID. So what is LOV region item? Transaction number 1. And what is the return item? It should be transaction number LOV ID. So make sure that when you have the same set of columns, be careful, mention the appropriate columns here, transaction number LOV ID. So our LOV item is ready now, but I have to create a link between the search panel region as well as the search panel item as well as the result region. So the result region is nothing but my table region. So using query criteria map, what I will do is I'll provide a link between search item. My search item is available in the transaction number LOV ID, and the result is available in the table region, this particular query bin table region. This is transaction number, TRX number, capital. Okay. So let's see how it works. Then I mean, if you have any doubts, we can still discuss. This is very much important functionality. This particular functionality you may be implementing mostly generally in the real-time requirements. Yeah. Now select the transaction number. Click on this LOV. So it shows some exception. Just click on add. Yeah. So I'll select 1. Click on go. Got it? So it is performing the meta, right? Like operation.
Yes.
Got it? And we can also type, I guess, look ahead. It can perform look ahead search. Okay. Now let us say, let us assume that like you'd like to have a column for customer transaction ID, which is just a text input column. You don't want to have LOV for the transaction ID. Then what we can do? Text input column for the transaction ID. What I have to do? So in the search panel here, right? You could see panel, right? So in this one, region 1, perform a right click here, click on new message text input. And here I'll mention the customer transaction ID. So I'll say search panel to identify properly. Data type number I'll select. And here I'll select enter customer transaction ID. So in the panel I have to create an item, and in the mapping I have to create a mapping between the result item as well as panel item. So in the mapping, create new mapping, and here what is the search item? Our search item is in the customer transaction ID SP. Customer transaction ID SP, and result item is this one, customer transaction ID, which is part of my table region. This one. Got it?
Yeah.
Click on go. Now let us I'll mention my transaction ID. Got it? Clear?
Okay.
So this is how we can implement auto customization criteria search pages. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So without control we have done. That is the major stuff. There is no control logic at all. Fine?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's do our deployment stuff. So let me tell you what is the deployment procedure, what we follow in the OAF scenario. OAF page deployment. So in the OAF pages, so far we have designed, how many set of files you consider? Like the files which are generated in the OAF, what are the file extensions? Do you remember?
.xml.
One is .xml, other one is .java,
.java.
and there are some other files like maybe .bc4j, right? And some other extra files. So as of now, consider only XML files as well as Java files. And if we consider layer by layer, let us say as of now, so far we know 3 layers: model, view as well as controller. Okay. Let's consider one example. Let us say that like the page which we designed just now, the result based search, right? Like the search pages. Let's see how do we deploy them. Now first thing is, let us say this is my search page, RA customer transaction search page. I would like to deploy this particular page. Okay. Deploy the page, this one. Now this particular page will have the AM, isn't it? This customer transaction search page will have the AM. So now as per the OA framework, like as we know that like we have either .java files as well as .xml files, but the Apache server require compiled files. Okay, it does not require Java at all. First of all, any server generally require the file in a binary mode, right? Even when you design your form, what is the thing you require? FMX, not FMV, isn't it?
Yes.
And when you
Yes.
even in the RDF also, you require the compiled RDF. Of course, it's both. It will have the source code, but still it requires a compiled RDF because that will have the binary stuff. Now here, in our sense, like this particular page, RA customer transaction search page, RA transaction search page, it will have the, if you consider the model layer, the view layer. Of course, it is not having CO. Now, one basic thing you have to remember here is, so this, whatever the files which are available in the model layer, you have to move to Java top. Remember this one. Any file in the model layer, simply move them to Java top. And any file in the CO layer, any file in the CO layer, move to Java top. And any file in the view layer, nothing but generally in the view layer you'll have only .xml files. This one we have to move to MDS layer, nothing but database. Okay. This one is in the application server. Java top is part of your application server, isn't it?
Yes.
View layer will have .xml files that we have to deploy to database. And the remaining files in the model layer or CO, simply move them to application server. See, but one more thing, if you consider carefully, if we consider the package wise, CO is always part of API package, isn't it? Because the CO files as well as the XML files are always available in the API package only, isn't it? Are you getting?
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, let's do this first functionality. So I will go to my classes. So in your Kaja folder, go to my classes. Now this is the folder, right? XX Cisco. Okay. Make a note of this particular path. So what I will do is go to the WinSAP now. The first thing is all files in the below folder. Which folder? This one. All files in the below folder, my classes folder. What is my folder structure? It is XX Cisco, right? So the total directory XX Cisco, I'll just move to Java top. Total XX Cisco. It is having what files it will have? What kind of files it will have? What are type of files? Sorry?
Dot class files.
Dot class as well as and XML also. Observe here. This one will have, if we consider the server package, Oracle apps, FND, server, can you see? .xml as well as class files, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? We have to move .class files as well as .xml files also. See, the only XML file which is part of the view layer that has to be deployed to MDS. Remaining any file, either class file or XML, simply we have to move to Java top. Only the XML file of the view layer, we have to move to MDS layer. That's the only thing you have to remember. Now go to WinSAP, open the server. So I'll go to Java top now. Click here. So if you're not aware of the Java top, just execute the environment here. Apple MGR. Now RIS, Oracle, VIS, apps. Okay. Okay. Now Java top. If you want to see the location, simply mention echo Java top. So which is nothing but my common folder. Copy the path. Add. Okay. Clear?
Yeah.
And what I have to do? So here, go to till my classes. Left side open till my classes. I'll simply move the total folder here. Why? Because I'm the only developer who is designing the XS Cisco. If some other developer also doing XS Cisco, be careful. But if you are the only one who is designing the XS Cisco, and if you are the sole developer of your project, then you can play around. But let us say if multiple developers are working on a same particular project, you are designing page A, I'm designing page B, and we both are having the same aim. In those kind of scenarios, you have to like coordinate and deploy properly. Okay, but if you are the independent developer who is working on a solely on a particular project, simply you can work around, you can play around. So I'll just move the total folder XS Cisco. Hopefully it is not available so far in our server, right? So now I am the one who is designing, so it will not have any issue. Clear? Now in the XS Cisco, if you observe, open this XS Cisco, Oracle apps, FND, right? It is having LOV, Populate, server, and so forth, all the things which you have designed so far. In the web UI, it will also have the XML files, but these are not required. These are not required. Even whether you place or not place, it will not have any impact at all. So whether files is there or not also, it will not have an issue, but I deleted now. Clear?
Yeah.
Right? I deleted the XML files in the web UI directory in my server because they are not required at all. It's just a space waste. Okay. But if you observe in the server package, I have the XML as well as class file. They should be there. They have to be there, else it will not work. So the deployment part, there are two things. Whenever you want to deploy any OAF page, the first thing is all class files move to the application tier, nothing but Java top, and the XML file move to MDS layer. Now let's discuss about the deployment of page to the MDS layer. So for that, there's a command called import command. So this is a command import. I just have the ready-made script. So in the import command, the first important property is, let me word wrap. Yeah. So this import command is available here in the command prompt. So in the jdov bin, c jdov bin jdov bin. It's a long command, hopefully. Oh, sorry. cd. Yeah. This is a location. If you want to see from here, you can see here better. It is available here. C jdov bin oaxt. This is the location of the file in the oaxt bin folder. There's a command called import, batch command. Can you see?
Yeah.
Here you'll have the import command. So for this import command, what is the major important properties is, the first thing is your page name. The second thing is your my projects directory. And another one is TNS entry, your database stuff. You require apps password. Without apps, you cannot deploy. Okay. Now, for the first thing is, if you observe, after the import command, we have to mention the total full page path of your XML file. Now here we have our XML file in the my projects directory, and we also have the XML file in the my classes. Either way you can mention anything, it will work. I'll go with my projects. So I have my file in the my projects, right? I'll mention my project stuff. My projects, Cisco, Oracle apps, FND web UI. Now which page we want to design, we want to deploy? Our search page, right? And here are a customers, or a customer transaction search page. So I'll mention search page path. And after that, mention the username, password of the database, mention your TNS entries, followed by my projects location, the root directory. Root directory means till my projects, right?
Okay.
So this till this particular Kaja directory, this refers to your JDAV user home. After that, you'll have a my project directory, right? You just have to mention that. Okay.
Okay.
And one more thing, before running the page, before performing import command, let me execute one particular command. So when you say MDS, nothing but metadata service, whenever you deploy any page to server, it will create the content into the three tables. One is JDR paths, JDR attributes, as well as JDR components. So you see here, see this. So there are total 4 tables, but important are JDR paths, JDR components, as well as JDR attributes. Whenever you deploy any OAF to server, it will affect these 3 tables. The XML content will get stored line by line, record by record into the JDR tables. Okay, let us see this. Once we run the import command, you'll have a clear idea. Let me run the import command first. So I'll copy this particular script and run from here. You can also run from the server. Either way it will work. Now it says some particular issue. Import command is not found. Yeah, it is available in the bin directory, right? Now run. Yes, perfect. Can you see? It says that importing file, and it has mentioned the path as access something like this, right? The Unix path as this one. So now our page is available at this location. The page is available at this location. Now here, run this particular command, the script, the SQL command, and see the difference. Now just see this command here, line number 2. Can you see the record now?
Yes.
And also there are other tables, right? I have told you that it will affect other tables also. JDR components. Mention this document ID where comp underscore doc ID. What is that command? Okay, let me run first. Where comp underscore doc ID. Mention this doc ID. Can you see? Do you see our all information here? All the components, the page, item.
Yes.
So how it is, what you say, like storing. It is not storing any of the XML file here. It is not storing your XML file as a blob. It is storing each particular item as a region as a separate record. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And now JDR attributes. So these attributes will have the attribute information. Attribute underscore comp underscore doc ID. This is a primary key here. Now can you see here our AM information? So the page will have the item as well as regions, nothing but components. Each component will have the properties. So the top level record will be available in the JDR path, and the information about item and region will be available in the components part, and the properties for each particular component will be available in the attributes part. Nothing but table, I mean to say. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Any confusion?
We need to run this command automatically deploy the our page in server.
Right. So there are only two steps. One is move all your compiled files to Java top and then deploy this particular import command. That's it. This is only deployment stuff. Moving all the class files to Java top, that's the first step. And then move all your XML files, nothing but the view layer part, into MDS layer using this particular import command.
This command we did not give the server path, right?
Where? This is my server name, right?
Input
Database.
database name is there, but where is path?
Path of what?
Root directory path.
See, that is what I was telling you, right? I can run this import command either from my local machine, or I can run the same command from my server also. Either way. If I run this particular script from my local machine, I'll mention the local machine path. But if I run the same import command from the server, I have to mention the path of your exact file.
Okay.
Got it? This import command
Yeah. Okay.
will work either way. Like generally, what I can tell you, if you perform, like FND loads, FND load will not work anyway. But generally, what I'm saying is this import command is available in your JDeveloper, as well as the same import command is available in your server also. If you're running the script from your local machine, you have to mention the local machine path. I mean to say, like, where my file is available. If you're running it from the server, mention the server path.
Yeah. Okay.
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 Yeah. Now, so far what we have done, move the class files to Java top, move the pg.xml files to MDS layer. Now, the next step is, what is the next step?
Import command.
That is what is the move command, right?
From
Move this one, import command. Second step is over, right? Import. Next, what is the thing? Register the page. How do you run the page? We have to register it, right?
yes.
Eval function. Eval function assigned to menu. Menu to responsibility. Responsible to user.
Yeah.
Got it? Okay. Now
Yeah.
this is my page path. This is my page path. For this one, I have to register oa.jsp question mark page is equal to like this. This is my page. Now open the server. what I will do is, I'll create my own custom responsibility as well as menu, okay, to just have our own set of pages.
Oh,
So I'll just go to system administrator. So let's create a function first. Access Cisco search page. Okay, this is my page search. This is my form function, right? And what is the path? This is the path. So in the properties, mention SSWA JSP function, self-service web application JSP function. Okay. In the web HTML, mention this HTML call. So what you have to do, in the form function, mention the function name, mention the user function name. In the properties, mention self-service web application JSP function, and in the web HTML, mention the page path. So the page path should have the command like this: oa.jsp question mark page is equal to, then followed by page path. Okay.
okay.
Now close this one. Now let us create the menu. I'll just say xx Cisco underscore menu. So I'll assign array search page xx Cisco. Got it?
Yeah.
Now create a responsibility xx Cisco responsibility. I'll just go with application object library. It doesn't have any stuff here. Cisco underscore menu, and here I'll go with standard, and again application object library. Clear?
Yeah.
Now I can also let's create a user also. So then Raquel 123, Raquel 123. Then access Cisco menu, and then also preferably functional administrator. That's it. So let it save. Yeah, done. So let me log out and log in. Okay, let's see clearly how exact it is working. Okay, we could see our responsibility. Click on this and let's see our page. Got it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Click on home. It has to go back to login. Can you see? There is one page. Let us deploy one more page. Let us deploy one more page. Now let us say I would like to deploy LOV sample. What I have to do? I would like to deploy LOV sample page. Tell me the procedure. What I have to do? First thing
Already
is,
we moved
yeah.
file.
So the first step is already done, right? So we does not need to do it again. Move the class files to
Yes.
Java top is not required because we have already moved all the files. Next
All
step
the
is
files,
we have
yes.
to import. We have to import this
Import.
particular command because we have done the import of only one page, right? Now this LOV sample is another page. So I have to run this LOV sample command again. LOV sample page, this one, XML. So here, import command from this one, command prompt, paste the command. So it will once it is imported completed, it clearly shows a path. Copy this particular path. Make a note of the path. Now what I have to do? OA.jsp question mark
Oh,
page is
page.
equal to the page path. Now open the application
Okay.
developer and application function.
Function.
So access Cisco LOV sample
Below.
page. I prefer same name here. Now properties SSWA JSP function and okay, no problem. Just re-execute again. Okay, there is some issue. Application function access Cisco something wrong. Okay, let me write XX Cisco LOV sample page. Okay. Now properties mention SSWA JSP function and in the web HTML mention the page path. Okay, only three properties. In the first description, mention the function name user function. In the properties, mention it as sswa.jsp function. And in the web HTML, mention this path. This has to be perfect, else it will not work. This has to be proper. This is syntax. Okay. Now this is done. Next thing is go to menu, XX Cisco menu, and here mention this one. LOV sample page. Right? LOV sample page. Save it. Save it. Now, where is our server? Yeah, here. So now I'm not bouncing the server. Remember here, there is no need of bounce, right? There is no change in the Java code, isn't it? Even though we deploy new
Yeah.
page, there is no need to bounce the server as because we are using the same old Java code. I just refresh the page. Now I could see my LOB sample. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So any doubts in the deployment so far?
Okay. No issues.
Okay. Fine. So like the basic things we have completed. Okay. So from next class onwards, we'll start our mini project. Okay. Okay. So this will include like this mini project again, like we'll be designing. Okay. I think one more thing I have to do. Before mini project, we have to consider the Evo based stuff, Evo based sample. After that, we'll discuss mini project because this mini project involves other many functionalities of the DML operations. Okay. So far, we have not discussed any of the DML functionality, isn't it?
Yeah.
So next class we'll discuss about the DML operations on the table using the Evo based functionality. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay then.
Okay.